As I was coming through all of this, I soon found out that one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
It's quite a coincidence that just after Angie Stone started exposing Universal Music Group for allegedly stealing from her for decades, she gets into a car accident. She was the only one who died in an accident that involved 8 other people. This happened right after she vowed to do whatever it took to make sure they paid for her life's work, for her children, and for her grandchildren. When I tell you that Angie's passing seems incredibly suspicious, I mean exactly that. In the months leading up to her death, aside from calling out UMG, Angie had also been revealing a lot about the music industry. For example, she recently spoke out about how DAngelo and Mary J. Blige were allegedly used to sabotage her career. All of these things she's been exposing could have been connected and may have even led to her untimely death. Another curious thing is why Blige was transcribing text messages between him and Angie Stone from just a few days before her death, where she shared very personal details. There's a lot happening here, so let's get into it. To give some context, we can't overlook Angie's legacy or her impact on the entertainment world. Born into a musically inclined family, Angie grew up surrounded by music. Her mother sang around the house, and her father was a gospel and blues singer who performed at local venues. As an only child, Angie admired her father, who greatly influenced her career path. She eventually helped form The Sequence, the first all-female group signed to the groundbreaking Sugar Hill Records, becoming one of the first female groups to record a rap song. Later, she joined the trio Vertical Hold before launching her solo career. Angie Stone's career is marked by numerous hit songs, including No More Rain, In This Cloud, which topped the Billboard Adult R&B Airplay chart for 10 weeks, and her collaboration with legendary soul singer Betty Wright on another chart-topping hit. Her song Wish I Didn't Miss You also became a major success. Her 2001 album, Mahogany Soul, reached number 22 on the Billboard 200, and her 2007 album, The Art of Love and War, peaked at number 11. Beyond her music, Angie showcased her acting talent with roles in films like The Hot Chick, starring Rob Schneider, The Fighting Temptations, featuring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beyoncé, and Ride Along with Ice Cube and Kevin Hart. She even performed on Broadway as Big Mama Morton in Chicago. Angie also displayed her more vulnerable side on reality shows like Celebrity Fit Club and R&B Divas Atlanta. It's clear that Angie was a trailblazer in shaping the music industry. But sadly, just like many of her peers, the moment she started questioning her finances, she met a tragic end. The issue with Angie was that she had no idea Universal Music Group, UMG, had been stealing from her for decades. Once she discovered this, she set out to expose them. Angie's connection to UMG began with her role as a songwriter for MCA in 1990. MCA Inc., the parent company of MCA Records, was rebranded as Universal Studios Inc. in 1996, with its music division becoming Universal Music Group. As a signed artist with MCA and later Universal, Angie helped form the R&B trio Vertical Hold under their label. In a revealing video posted on January the 2nd, Angie shared the details of how her earnings were allegedly misappropriated over the span of her more than 40-year career. She began the video by describing her struggle with a severe blood infection that forced her to pause her touring schedule and seek urgent medical attention. During her recovery, she uncovered serious discrepancies in her financial records. About 15 minutes into the video, Angie explained how a significant portion of her royalties, publishing, and mechanicals had been taken by UMG without her knowledge. She spoke candidly about wondering where her royalties had gone, as she wasn't receiving any payments. It turned out that Universal Music had been collecting all of her royalties and mechanicals, essentially taking everything she had earned. In the video, Angie expressed deep disappointment over what she saw as both negligence and intentional financial misconduct. She made it clear that she intended to make Universal Music pay for her life's work, for her children, and for her grandchildren. Additionally, she claimed that proper registration procedures for her songs had been ignored and alleged other forms of financial misconduct. There were multiple class action lawsuits concerning Angie's songs, as they were never properly registered by the company she had signed them over to. She also mentioned that she had a dedicated team investigating what she believed she was owed, and she warned up-and-coming artists about the industry's deceptive practices. Then, just a few weeks later, Angie tragically passed away. Now, I don't want to come across as a conspiracy theorist, but it does seem suspicious that she was the only one who died in the accident that involved several other people, especially considering she had just started exposing Universal Music Group, UMG, a company with a history of allegedly sabotaging artists who fight for their rights. What happened was that the vehicle Angie was traveling in, a 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, flipped over on Interstate 65 while heading back to Atlanta from Alabama. The van was then struck by a 2021 Freightliner truck. While the driver and 7 others in the van were taken to Baptist Medical Center for treatment, Angie was pronounced dead at the scene. According to the Alabama Highway Patrol, the crash occurred around 4:25 a.m. on Saturday, March 1st. Naturally, her death shocked many, particularly because of her recent revelations, and some people speculated that it might have been planned. But as I mentioned, this wasn't the only exposing Angie had been doing. Back in September of the previous year, Angie released another video where she exposed the darker side of the music industry, including how her ex, DAngelo, and Mary J. Blige were allegedly used to sabotage her career. Though her relationship with DAngelo was already controversial, she revealed that years after their breakup, someone from DAngelo's team had sent letters to industry professionals falsely accusing her of introducing him to drugs and alcohol. The letters also claimed that Angie was controlling and difficult to work with, which severely damaged her reputation. Angie clarified that she didn't blame DAngelo himself, as she believed he wasn't aware of these actions, but she did place the blame on his business associates who had worked hard to break them up and tarnish her image. Essentially, Angie claimed that there had been a long-running, meticulously planned effort to destabilize her career in the industry, and it was only recently that she began to uncover all of this. This context makes it easier to understand why people might suspect that her death was not coincidental. Regarding Mary J. Blige, Angie explained that Kurt Woodley, Mary's manager at Uptown Records, had asked her to work with Mary, suggesting that Angie mentor her because Mary reminded him of Angie. However, Angie said that despite helping Mary, she never received any recognition or gratitude from her, which contributed to the tension between them. Angie also revealed that Mary J. Blige had taken a song that Andre recorded with DAngelo without permission. Once again, Angie implied that Mary was being used to undermine her career, but she never explicitly stated whether Mary was a willing participant. However, the fact that Mary witnessed what was happening and chose not to intervene made her appear as a backstabber and a traitor. Angie's message to other artists was to be cautious of such tactics in the industry. Another puzzling detail was Albie Shaw's decision to transcribe text messages between him and Angie Stone from just a few days before her death, where she shared very personal details. In their exchange, Angie reached out to him saying, "Hey, hun, it's Angie Stone. Please give me a call ASAP. A lot of things happening with this transplant situation. I have 2 possible donors, but they're discriminating against Black people." Albie replied, "Hey Queen, great to hear from you. I'm on a plane but will reach out as soon as I land. Just wanted to let you know that I have 2 potential donors, 1 negative and 1 positive, both family members. I'm trying to get clearance for the transplant, but there's discrimination against older Black people in the hospital system. I'm hesitant to deal with them here, so I'm reaching out to see if you know anyone who can help. It's been 5 years and I'm overdue. My blood work is good and I'm just waiting now. Call me when you can, we need to talk." In the text exchange, Angie also expressed her thoughts about Diddy, telling Albie, "I've been praying for you ever since all this foolishness you've been saying for years was finally exposed. He's going down. I didn't realize how much you've gone through, and it's unfortunate. I'm praying for you and supporting everything you're doing. I hope your son Quincy can walk away from that whole mess and be with his biological father. I know Kim is at peace now. She was born just a couple of days before me, so I know her spirit. She's been helping you from the other side. Be blessed, and know I'm here for you no matter what. Peace and blessings, King. Honestly, I'm not sure what Albie Shaw hoped to achieve by posting these texts, but it only fueled more speculation that Angie's death might have been planned. The details of her passing still don't add up, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think her death was orchestrated? Also, what are your views on DAngelo and Mary J. Blige allegedly being used to sabotage Angie's career? And what do you make of Albie's strange decision to share their private conversation? Let me know in the comments below.